Okay, so on this episode of Rooforia, we're going to talk about scheduling, and we're going to talk about time management. All right, so you will find working at Eagle Restoration that what I'm about to say is going to fall into the category of do as I say, not as I do, and I'm not trying to be a bad example. I'm not. I need to work on my time management. I do. That is a failing that I have. So that being said, from my experience and what we do, there are okay. Let's think about scheduling appointments. All right. So first of all, let's talk about Lombardi time. Okay, I've got it written up on the board. Lombardi time. Vince Lombardi is a famous football coach. I think it was Penn State, Nittany Lions, I believe he was a coach for. Very effective leader, very good coach. Took them to several championships and made a winning team. Just whatever. Look him up if you want to know about Joe Lombardi. But anyway, Lombardi time. He said that if you are 15 minutes early, you are on time, and if you're on time, you are late. Now, in my experience, several years ago, I didn't have a car and I was looking for a job. And so I'd take the bus everywhere. And so taking the bus, you really have to schedule yourself to be early or you're going to be late for everything. And it takes up a lot of time. Man, it ate up a lot of my time to do this kind of stuff. But I remember showing up for a job interview one day and I was about half an hour early. And the guy was really impressed and he liked it. And I got hired. And I think that probably the fact that I was early like that for my interview, and then the interview went well also, but that was a huge factor in why I got hired. He really liked that. It really stuck out to him. Because a lot of people, most people, I don't want to say most, I don't know what the statistics are or anything, but I know that, a lot of people are not on top of this, and they don't think about other people's time. Other people's time is just as valuable as yours, right? I don't care if you make $1,000 an hour or $10 an hour, right? People need to be treated with respect, and their time needs to be honored and valued, right? So when you set an appointment, be on time, be early, right? When you make an adjuster meeting, and this is really, if we set up every meeting and we looked at every meeting that we had to go to, just like we look at an adjuster meeting, we'd be a half hour early for every single meeting. And that would be a great thing to do. Because I tell you, I am like that for adjuster meetings because you'll get burnt, right? Problem is, on meetings with other people, we don't necessarily get burnt so much. But you know what? You will get burnt. So if you show up late to a meeting with a homeowner and you're supposed to be picking up a check, right? They might look at that as a slap in the face and go with another contractor, right? And remember, just because you have a contingency agreement signed, just because you gained the approval, just because you've done all this stuff, it doesn't mean squat until you get that check, right? So that doesn't mean be lazy once you get the check, right? But it means that everything you do is considered, right? Everything you do is looked at. I was talking to somebody else recently, and I kind of came down on them a little bit about their spelling, right? And I don't know if it's a learning disability or if it's just an aptitude that hasn't been fully developed, but it's important. Spelling is important, right? It's professionalism. When people see misspelled words, they think, if this person wasn't, they didn't take the time to spell check their work, right? And especially nowadays where it's underlined in red if it's misspelled, right? So if you type something up and you have misspellings, it shows laziness, right? And then if you're misspelling like customers' names, that tells them that you're lazy. That tells them that you don't really care. That tells them that you don't really care what the product looks like, even when you're talking to the customer. You're talking to a customer and you're spelling their name wrong while talking to them, back and forth with them. That just it shows such a degree of unprofessionalism. It's just anyway. So that's something that has to be when you see an ad. When I'm reading a book and there's misspelled words, like if I'm reading a book and it's a book that's maybe somebody published on their own, right? You can tell maybe because of the packaging or whatever. But you can tell it's not a big publishing company that did it. when I notice misspelled words, if I see a couple of misspelled words, like I lose respect for the book. I mean, a lot of times I won't even read any more of it because I don't trust the author because they spelled the words wrong. And so I don't think they're smart enough to be telling me anything, right? And, you know, I'm not trying to say that people that misspell words are not smart. I'm just saying that really in today's day and age, they're lazy if you misspell words. It's just too easy to get them spelled right. All you have to do is do a spell check, right? All you got to do is type it on any program, and you'll see if the words are spelled right or not. The only thing that you won't see is, you know, proper nouns or whatever, names, right? Stuff like that. But anyway, so back to this. So 15 minutes is early, and on time is late. So let's think about scheduling. So if you've got you're getting busy. You've talked to several people. Let's say you're knocking doors and you're setting up appointments, right? You're not even doing the inspections. Let's say it's a rain day or something, and you're knocking on a rainy day because you're really out there. You're trying to be a go-getter, right? And so you're setting up appointments, and it's supposed to be nice the rest of the week. And so you're setting them up for whatever. It's Tuesday. You're setting up for Wednesday, and you've got your afternoon slots, right? So you're working in the same neighborhood. So you don't have to worry too much about travel time. You just got to worry about how long it's going to take you to go there, get on the roof, draw it up, right? We'll first inspect it, right? Find damage, mark all your damage with your chalk, right? Then come back and you got to do your pictometry, you got to do your Cyhawk, you got to do all this stuff, right? Fill out all your paperwork, and then you've got to go and you got to talk to the homeowner, you got to get them to sign up on the contract, and you got to get them to call and claim, right? So talking to them, talking piece, all that part, half an hour minimum, right? Maybe even an hour. And you know, you're going to be using critical listening where you're going to ask open-ended questions, and then you are going to pull their pain points that they're going to tell you how to sell them. So you're going to pull that out of what they tell you in conversation and figure out exactly what they're looking for in a contractor so that you can become that person. And you're going to use your NLP. You're going to say, so when you imagine the contractor that you can trust and that you're going to sign with, and so it doesn't matter whether you sign with Eagle Restoration today or whether you wait a couple weeks before you get this thing signed and taken care of right now, right? What matters is that you trust the contractor that you choose for the job, and that you know that you can feel totally safe because you've seen what this contractor can do, and you've seen the referrals, and you just have this feeling about this contractor that you trust, that you see right in front of you, right? Whatever it is you're saying, and you know, figure out the best way to say it yourself, but use the NLP, use the trance words, imagine, picture, realize, recognize, things that make them think and make them paint a picture, right? And then, you know, make it real easy, right? You're framing yourself when you're saying something that you want them to see. You're pointing to yourself, right? So do this kind of stuff when you're talking to them. But anyway, so now time management. Get back to that. So we're talking 60 minutes is probably a good rule of thumb. Give you plenty of time to get signed, get the claim called in, and talk to them about whatever they need, right? And then you're probably going to need another 60 minutes for the inspection to be able to get up there, inspect it. You know, you could probably do that, inspect it, and find, you know, damages. Probably 30 to 45 minutes, and you can do a good job of doing all that, right? So then you still got to go take your pictures and file your paperwork. So really, we're talking about, I would say, including travel time between this job and the next job, if you really want to be thorough and get everything you need on the first try, we're talking 3 hours, right? 3 hours. Now, if you give yourself 3 hours, you won't be late to the next one, right? But if you give yourself 2 hours, you just might be late to the next one. And see, that's my problem, is I might overbook myself. And then when I do that, I might get more deals, but I might not also. I might lose deals because I'm late, right? Or because I'm rushing. So we want to make sure that we are able to be there on time, to be professional, and to give them everything we can give them and get everything we can get on that one visit. So if we take 3 hours on that first visit, then we might not have to come back there until, but once or twice. The adjuster meeting, picking up checks, right? We don't want to have to keep going back there and picking up information, right? So, but then, like I said, so that's all about time management, but it's Lombardi time. So we need to be 15 minutes early or else we are late.